If you're an immigrant, you have trauma. I only say that because I want people to acknowledge that there's impact that immigration has had on you. If you immigrated to this country from your country, oftentimes the culture is probably pretty different than what you're living currently. That means you've probably experienced having to acculturate and assimilate to a different culture, some language barrier if there were any. You probably also had to fit in, and there were probably moments of isolation and loneliness if you didn't have a big social support when you moved here. And oftentimes the word trauma has such heaviness to it because we think of abuse or neglect as part of trauma. But trauma can be anything that has had impact. If you moved to this country and you had a community back home that you're leaving behind, oftentimes that can be a very isolating and scary thing. That has an impact, which means you have some trauma around it. You may not even realize that you have some trauma around it, but there might be little things that trigger you in ways that you are not even catching yourself. For instance, as an immigrant, money is a big thing for me in terms of how I spend money, how I allow myself to spend money, what my mindset is around money. And I know that is very much deeply rooted in knowing that we were starting from scratch. We meaning my family. I know that that is something that stays in my body and I'm trying to unlearn. You may have other things. It may be a particular noise, or it may be a particular restaurant or a place that reminds you of that trauma, that first day, that first week, that first month, that first year that you came here, and the difficulty that you felt in fitting in. So if you are an immigrant, you have trauma, and there's nothing wrong with the fact that you have trauma. So allow yourself to normalize it a little bit for you and acknowledge what is happening to your body when you're feeling that level of stress, because you may be triggered from the fact that you immigrated to a completely new place. In our culture, mental health is such a massive stigma that the word trauma just has so many connotations. So many immigrants have this mentality of just figure it out and keep moving forward. And a lot of us have been very successful at making sure that we do the best we can with the lives that we've got and make it better. But it also has an impact when we walk with the worldview of let's just keep moving what we need to do and put our head down, because it doesn't allow us to acknowledge the actual impact that may be happening to our bodies and minds. If you are an immigrant to this country, what are some fears that you had to overcome that your mind or body remembers very clearly? Put it in the comments below. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel and follow me on social media at The Indian Counselor.